good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Too,
Let's talk.
in conjunction with Angry Black Man's Book Club. Dr. Short's here. We're here, you guys. All I'm gonna say is, it's a show that comes on TV. I don't even watch the show, but I've heard of the name, and I'll just say, when it comes to going live and being able to put a broadcast together, stranger things tend to happen.
Yeah, like this new thing that they get to see all of your information. It kept demanding that. What do you need all my information for? And what people say and this, that, and the other. I don't know what the hell that's about.
One of these days, you guys in the chat, you guys that will watch the broadcast, I had put something in my community section last week about the Supreme Court is actually um, about to hear a major case that the government, not the government, the White House, the legislative branch of our, no, the executive branch of our government, overstepped its bounds when it comes to the First Amendment, which we're getting these social media sites with censorship.
Mhm.
So at any given moment, our justices are going to be making a ruling. And this ruling is very important to what's been going on, since that the medical situation in 2020 up until now, dealing with TikTok. The TikTok thing got past the House, now it has to go through the Senate. So you guys on social media, and we use social media as a vehicle, know that a lot of the rights that we had yesterday may not be there tomorrow,
Right.
and some rights may come back. And
Well, they may be
it's
gone.
ways to censorship without calling it censorship. It's ways of blocking you. I know one of the things that I use StreamYard, which is a third-party app. Now you can't go into Facebook groups as of April. Instagram that opened up their IPA. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. You can't go into a Facebook group in April, starting April 22nd. You can only stream to your page or your profile. If you're in a group and you're an admin of a group, you can't stream. You're not going to be able to stream from a third-party service. So
Mm.
tonight we got Dr. Short and myself here, and we're going to talk about Donald Trump, 45. Former President Trump, who would like to be our 47th president as well. And is Donald Trump the new face of Black Power?
Or for my channel, do black women hate Kevin Samuels hate Donald Trump because he's the white Kevin Samuels? We're looking at all this phenomenon that every time you turn around, look, every time I hear a court decision that's ridiculous against Trump, it's almost always a black woman judge. There are two in Illinois, Tracy Porter, and then there's, what's this woman? I think Carolyn Johnson, something else. And so you keep getting, and they're always Greek letter oriented. They're all of these boule holes attacking Trump. One and one and one and one again. And it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
Dr. Short, they'll tell you that we don't have enough black women lawyers and judges. But like you said, it's always one black woman who's either the prosecutor or the judge that's coming after him in these cases. And I know you've been talking about it for a while, Dr. Short, how our women are putting themselves in direct conflict of what we say white supremacy is, and people, and it's like, is he like the new face of the alpha black male, the masculine male?
I think that black women are the spirit tip of attacking patriarchy. Um, I'm going to say this. I don't care how it comes across. In the black American community, white Americans have structured an incredible dysfunction and imbalance. And so I'm thinking that so what has happened with the imbalances, every other people in the world that I'm aware of, for the most part, that have any freedom, the leadership of the group is male. In our community, due to the interruption and the attack on the black community, our leadership has been made female going back to the plantation. Black men have been castrated. And then again, I have to say this about black men. Black men have a brother fucker culture. Black men castrate and destroy each other. They were doing it in Africa. The Aboriginals were fighting and killing each other here. We have never made common cause with each other as black men. So, with white men and white women and everybody else investing in black women as a means to subordinate black men, and black men being catty, bitchy, cutthroat, backstabby, they don't keep their word. You know, you can't trust or lend money to anyone because there's no reciprocity. Because black men are dysfunctional horizontally towards each other, and white society has structured a way to use women to usurp men, we're in a double bind. And through this failure of black men, because I've got to say, black men have completely fucked this thing up for the 150 years plus 159 years that we've been out of so-called chattel slavery. Black men have not gotten enough common sense to stick together, like illegals just coming across the border, band together. And yet you can't get that from black folks who have degrees in education. Talk about black men. I'm not going to talk about black women. Black men are singularly failures in this country, refuse to work together. We're very catty. So into that absence, that vacuum of power, which would not exist if black men cooperated as a block, you have black women who are out of order, and they've been used out of order. And black women are very aware that they are out of order. They know that they're out of order. And at the same time, and a black woman out of order, all she has to do is pick up the phone and call the police. Hit herself on the leg with the spatula and say you did it and you're off to jail. They won't check. It just, this is understood. That's white power. The same way Dylan Rolfe knew that he could massacre those people in Emmanuel Church. He knew he'd be taken alive. He knew that the white men and law enforcement would spare his life. Black women know that there's an infrastructure of white supremacy that backs them vis-a-vis black men. Proof of that is child support fraud and other things that constantly go on. There's just a system of castration that goes on. And so black women see Donald Trump, who likes black women but is patriarchal and has done some things that come across the way he talks, like he insults. He acts like a black dude with he's a basically like a redneck player. Donald Trump has the mind of a redneck player. Hmm. He has the mind of a redneck player. And that's sort of what upsets these black women. And then they've been told, you have to understand that black women have been the defender of the plantation. They always have.
Yeah, some people even go so far as saying that they were the real house niggas.
Well, no, but black men being petty towards each other are house niggas. If we start looking at assassinations and betrayals and snitches, and the black men are well represented. So it's a lie that what black men are somehow loyal to some shared cause. You can look at any situation where you have illegals come in and meatpacking out west, and they can all agree to strike for higher wages. You know, and I know at your job right now, if you were being mistreated racially, don't ask another black man there for any, no matter how bad it was. He, you may not even be able to tell him that it's happening, because in reality, what has happened to black men is that they've become pathetic. They don't work together. And I'm not even talking about anything crazy. I'm talking about something like decent wages, like housing, like uh, child and family law, tort reform, just basic stuff.
Well, Dr.
Like the
Short, I got some people that'll help you out with your situation, but let me see if he'll allow me to give you his phone number before I give you the
No,
number.
I don't want people to get. People can email me. I don't want
No,
people.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting an example of how when somebody wants to do a favor or help you get in a better situation,
Mhm.
it's always you got to take a person through all this stuff
Well,
instead of
well,
like you gave
I'll
me some
do.
information the other day. You just gave it to me.
I,
You
I'll
was like,
do.
here,
I,
I got some
I'll
information
do
for you.
better. I don't care what anybody says about uh, the uh, the migrants or the Biden migrants.
I like that. The
I,
migrants.
when I worked in catering, the Latin Americans and Asians, all the other men and all the other groups would tell each other about the jobs available in catering. Black men would not tell another black man anything. And what would happen is so few black men would be there until the other groups of men would force the black men out, because the black men, frankly, I'm sorry, black men are bitches. I'm tired of black American men being bitches. The guys have the biggest muscles, big arms. None of that power is leveraged into economic empowerment or real power or even order in the family. So I can break your jaw, I can do a drive-by shooting and do all this killing and violence, but none of it translates into real manly shit. We don't see that. We
Instead of
I
sneaking
see
through your sneak through your back door and mess with your family,
Well,
or
no,
help
I'm
your
just
family.
saying I see a lot of aggression. I see a lot of tough. I mean, see impressively strong people, and you'll see a bunch of black weightlifters sit up and watch cops beat someone to death and take pictures and tell you I can bench press 1,200 pounds. Well, what does
He
that? What
must have
does all that?
deserved it.
What does all of that mean?
Yeah.
What does all that mean? What does all that mean, really? So,
So let me ask you, Dr. Short, is all that they do, is his resiliency, Trump's resiliency, and I definitely could understand and see the comparison of how he is basically so resilient at all the attacks that they've came at him with, and it's like, damn,
yeah, and
what more you going what more you gonna do?
well, but the black man is resilient, and yet you'll hear he's no good. He can't do this. He can't do that. He's raising five of your bastards that you couldn't take care of, and yet he's no good. It's that's and at the same time, Donald Trump has Melania, and if he's seeing someone else, he does what he wants to do. Donald Trump isn't under control of women. Donald Trump does not care what
He
anybody
develops.
thinks. I'm not saying he's always right. I'm saying that Donald Trump acts like a man. And to women who came from homes, I noticed, if you've noticed this with certain black women, don't have too much bass in your voice. Then just hearing a male voice in any command position makes them act rude, disrespectful, difficult. They they
You ain't
can't
gotta
they
yell.
they can't
You don't
even
have to
abide.
yell.
They can't abide a black man having any authority, any just that just drives them nuts. They need to be in charge. They need to have the last word. They need to have everything the way that they want it. I mean, and any because they've been given this unnatural privilege. And actually, Joe Biden, who that black women support, has actually it's on his watch, his administration, that has that is destroying the black matriarchy. It's crazy that the black matriarchy, this pork chop feminism, this like this what I call die or diversity, equity, and all this other crap, right? That the that's being destroyed while Biden's president. And not only that, all these migrants coming into the country, right? All of these guys come from countries where, what, 7, 8, 9 million, mostly men who are used to running things come to the
Well,
country. Yeah,
well,
if
well,
we're 330 some odd million people, roughly 3% of the population of this country are these new men who come from cultures where women aren't in charge. There's going to be a large number of American women, if they hook up with these guys and or these guys through chain immigration, are going to increase their ranks of subordinate women. The demographics in this country are going against feminism. I think it's going against this silly game that a lot of black women are on, that they're going to get knocked off the horse. And it's interesting, it won't be black men that yoke black women. It's going to be the men that they respect and the asses that they kiss. And white women are going to knock, and Latino women, they're going to stomp black women in the coming next 10 years. And it's going to be a shock. Not only that, things like artificial intelligence, a lot of the stuff, the jobs and things that were almost oriented towards women, in particular, a lot of our black women service stuff, that's going. The Somebody's going to need somebody else human. So a lot of the stuff men may do, auto repair things, women don't do a lot of this stuff where you don't, where AI is going to take a while before it can do that. This stuff is going to hit our sisters hard. Donald Trump is a throwback. The man whose woman is behind him, he cheats, she can't say anything. They don't like that. And they also don't like that Donald Trump has had an influence in the culture. There's no ifs, buts, and ands about it. Donald Trump has made an impact. You do not have to like him. There are things about him that I may not like, but Donald Trump is a force. He's shown, like I said, resiliency, power. He doesn't care. He's got his own money. He makes his own rules. He says what he thinks. He's not politically correct. He's like, I guess, you're in Scranton. He's like Ralph Crandom from the Honeymooners. Someone's talking about this cult, and this no, Donald Trump doesn't have a cult.
see,
Um,
the thing about it,
Biden
when
has a cult.
when
The
you think about
Democrats have a cult. Uh,
when
Donald
you think
Trump
about
is a
all the propaganda,
populist.
all of that propaganda, they tell you, oh, the Central Park, the exonerated five, the Central Park guys,
Hmm.
the MAGA cult, he's race. Nobody. This is political theater. People got to understand the political theater and factual stuff.
Hmm.
And when Dr. Short, when we talking about resiliency, you got to understand that no politician has been through more, and he's not a politician in the real sense, but knows to try to stop this man from winning the next election. So much so that they even tried to forcibly circumvent the Constitution by taking him off the ballot, a federal ballot, and the Supreme Court had to step in.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get Donald Trump off the ballot, and they're not going to bring they're not going to bring They're not going to bring this stuff back. They're not going to bring back abortion. This stuff is over. And by the way, a lot of these black women are stepping up, trying to like move up the ladder, and and in reality, uh, Trump represents a return to to the culture that that used to exist, where basically men, acted like free people instead of folks walking around always nervous about what someone else thinks or how someone else feels. This has to be a problem. So I'm going to say to you, Donald Trump is white Kevin Samuels. And the same way that the black women were very angry with Kevin Samuels, very angry with Kevin Samuels. Uh, they wanted him dead. These women want Donald Trump dead. Donald Trump's not going anywhere. Donald Trump, short of them imploding this country and them hurting him, he's going to have a political comeback like nobody's seen. And if he has, having learned being in the White House and learning government and how unfair and he's going to have his people in a way that he didn't have before. And a lot of people are going to have hell to pay. I actually think the there's going to be a lot of people who are going to catch hell from Trump when he's in. And it's not going to be the kind of persecution like when he said a bloodbath, and he's talking about business, right? He's not talking about killing people. If Donald Trump had been the monster that people claimed he was, he wouldn't have left power. Okay, so you don't think that black women hate Donald Trump, Nia? Then where are all these people coming from? I'm thinking, why not? Uh, if Donald Trump is such a sexist pig, I'm not saying he is. Why isn't it white women the face of the attacks on Trump instead of black women? I mean, Joy Reid, Whoopi Goldberg, uh,
Letitia James,
Letitia
Fannie
James,
Willis.
Fanny. I mean, all of these. I don't care what you're saying. The optics of it is that black women are part of a system to attack a populist leader that a lot of people like, and some of the things that have been done against Trump have been illegal, they have been bogus, they have been wrong. And it's very, I'm thinking about the black woman judge in Illinois who said that illegals have the right to have guns in Illinois, where they've made it almost impossible for law abiding blacks to have guns in Chicago to protect themselves from gangster city like Chicago. And yet, an illegal who came here, who could have been a mass killer, has a right to a gun. I hate to say this, but there's not one other demographic of judges that have come up with such an insane idea. That's just, it's, when I heard the ruling, I says, oh my God, a black woman. Damn, damn. Why do they keep doing this? And who do you think is, since black women are so unprotected, as the black feminists say, what's crazier than a black woman saying that people in the country unlawfully, where they have a record of rape and all this stuff not being punished the same way as here, that they have the right to guns? When black women are disproportionately trafficked and other things, why would you want any group of men that have mass broken the law, have weaponry, and they're being settled in communities with large numbers of black female single headed households? I mean, you have to have shit for brains to do this. And I'm saying a lot of these black Democratic women have shit for brains. They're absolutely stupid.
And
And, and,
honest,
and they're going and they're going to be harmed. And there will
and
be
honest,
nothing that anybody can do to help them. And
and
it's
honestly,
a shame. It's a damn shame that they can't see it. And frankly, I'm thinking about there are going to be black men expected who have been opposed to having firearms by black women in politics and in the justice system because they're anti-guns. They're going to ask black men to die protecting them from armed illegal men in the country. And I get it. Fuck us. We don't matter. That has a price, and it's going to be an expensive price. And I've been warning about this for 5 or 6 years. I could see this thing coming. Did you see the thing down in Jacksonville? Q?
on the beach.
Yes. Remember, I told you I had a dream about black folks getting killed on the beach. A whole bunch of black folks going to get killed some beach somewhere down south. I've been saying, God, we need to grab stock of the times that we're in. Why would anybody who got Miami Beach that says we don't want you down here? I'm not saying people can't go to the beach. That's not what I don't want the beaches segregated. No, I'm saying that there is a group of people that don't think of all ages, sometimes highly educated with nice jobs that do incredibly stupid things. And it carries consequences. Fannie Willis, they've stripped out 6 of the charges against Trump and the people that they did the RICO on. If they all get off, uh, let's say let's say they get convicted. I have my doubts about that. But if they none of them get convicted and the public's money was spent on this garbage, a large number of people are going to be very, 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 very angry.
Fannie
And you know that
Fannie
there's
Willis
someone running
will be
against
a
this.
correspondent on CNN.
You know, no, she'll probably be on CNN. The question is, you know, what will she be doing? Giving relationship advice because she absolutely doesn't hasn't done her job properly, and it predates now that she's been horrible to black people. All of a sudden, she's this hero after messing over black men and women, doing nothing about the jails and the things where people die and get eaten by bed bugs. And you got to get Trump. And you just say, man, um, Atlanta's one of the centers of human trafficking. That means it's black women being sold like slaves, as slaves. Nothing, not a damn thing. It's I can't point to one thing that these loudmouth black feminist types do for black women, other than pushing abortion, trans, and other stupid stuff, evil stuff. And black women have become the face of it, Nia. They have. And nobody talks. I mean, I talk like I do. I don't care how people feel. Eventually, once this election is over and people don't have to pander, they don't have to pander to the black women voters. If Trump wins, and God forbid if they steal it, and people are angry, I've been saying this for a while. If you've ever studied American race relations or studied group dynamics, when people are oppressed, they go after things that represent the cause of their anger. All of these black women featured over and over again the last 4 years. I'm telling you, the kind of things that could happen are horrific. And I
And
don't
it
want
will
it to
happen.
happen. Out of compassion, I don't want anybody harmed, beaten, killed, whatever. But, you know, it's interesting. My compassion comes across as since I'm saying, hey, cool it. I'm being what, patriarchal or bullying or denying women freedom of expression. I'm thinking, don't get yourself hurt. You know, didn't you have a mom that would advise you, Brother Quentin, how not to do this? It's interesting when it comes down to advice. Our women think they're the only ones that have something wise to say. And it's insane. Men have wisdom too. It's interesting. This feminism it's actually got the women acting like the wife beater shirt wearing husband that drinks with the beer out the can. Now a lot of these black women act like asshole men from the 50s, and yet they want the same treatment as they want gentlemanly treatment when they act like gentlemen. And anyone suggests anything like, hey, look, there's a social contract for that treatment. They say, why should there be? And therefore, we're in trouble. And I'm saying to you that these ignorant people, like this judge, I forget Johnson's second last name, they're going to support these illegals being law enforcement officers. I I can assure you that that's going to be abused. I don't know how much, but it's going to be abused. And I assure you that part of the abuse of authority is mistreating women. If people stay here long enough, they're going to learn that they can get away with doing certain things to certain people. Hint, hint. Black people are going to catch hell. Black people are going to catch hell. And black people includes black women. Man,
Well,
I'm getting this
you can't
crazy.
tell them that. They
Um,
think they're exempt from what may happen, and actually putting the whole black community, as we like to say, in harm's way because they choose and want to be the face of what is the end game? My thing is, what's the end game? What are you trying to prove?
I think they're trying to prove that they're men.
Oh yeah,
But being a
I,
man,
that,
being a man
that's
comes
one.
with the cost.
That's one of the things I hear sometimes. Well, we wouldn't have to display our masculine energy if men was be stepping up.
Well, but when men
It's,
step up, then there's pushback against that too. In reality, there's nothing a man can do. Right, man. This thing is crazy. This is telling me one of my streams is off.
yeah, angry black man. You're right. It ain't gonna be nobody's fault but their own. It's a very interesting thing, and I know that Dr. Short guys has been saying this for years. Has been saying this is what's gonna happen, and we see it. I actually had a conversation with a young lady I'm real cool with, and she said to me, "What does Fannie Willis' personal life got to do with the case?" And I said, "Do you realize in the courthouse in the courtroom, there is some things called ethics?" Oh, but that's a convicted felon. I said, Donald Trump has never been convicted of a felony. See,
Hmm.
this is where the media, it's a game that goes on. So you got a lot of people that say all this stuff about Trump, and I'm
Mm, mm, mm.
I told you stranger things.